Okay. Okay. So today is the 17th lecture of this course EN 640, and moving towards more pulse width modulation techniques, we have started discussing the space vector PWM. So first we try to understand the basic principle behind the space vector PWM, and we have seen that any multiphase quantity can be represented as vector in space. So when the quantities or the voltages are located in space in a little bit distributed manner, so we have a rotating vector realization which can be represented in terms of the voltages or whatever quantities it is. So then we can see that some real and imaginary components can be taken out, and then we can have a rotating vector realization. So then we try to see that if any voltage quantity can be represented like that, then what happens to our inverter output voltage? And then for a particular operation, which is 6-step or square wave mode, we try to see how these vectors are located in space. So in total, we saw that for a 2-level 3-phase inverter, we have 8 vector states available, out of which some 2 are zero states and 6 are active states, and those are located in space in a distributed manner. So basically along the so the vectors are basically connecting the tips of the. So this is what we have. Okay. And then what we saw that if those vectors are applied one by one, like how we do for 6-step or square wave mode, we are basically applying these vectors sequentially in the counterclockwise direction. So for 60-degree, each 60-degree, we are applying one vector. And that is how we are realizing this fundamental component, which is denoted by the red circle. So it is rotating like that, but we are applying only discrete vectors to realize that in a sequential manner. So then we try to see what happens in case of sine triangle PWM, and we have taken a case where we have the MR voltage highest and MB voltage least. So then that case is something like we are in the angle range of 90-degree to 150-degree. So which we have seen is sector 1. So now for this we are trying to see what is happening, what we are applying actually. So we saw that for this subcycle, let's say Ts by 2, if we try to write the vectors for different time intervals, T1, T2, T3, T4, what we find is that these vectors are applied over different intervals and basically with purpose to realize the average vector or the voltage vector on an average sense. So, okay, let me remove this. Fine. And the sum of this time period T1 plus T2 plus T3 plus T4 is basically Ts by 2. So we can represent, let us say, that is one way to realize we are having modulating signal and carrier and comparing, and effectively we are doing that. But we can represent this mathematically also. So let's say we have this vector Vs to be realized. So what basically we are doing, we are applying V0 for T1 time, then V1 for T2 time, V2 for T3 time, and then V0 or V7 for T4 time. So these two are active vectors, these two are zero vectors, 0 and 7. So effectively we are doing this. If we try to represent mathematically our sine triangle PWM, so effectively we are doing this. We have this sector. So let me take Okay, so in this sector, let us say, because we have taken a case where the voltage vector, now while rotating on this circle, it is somewhere lying in between the sector 1. So something like that, it is rotating, and let's say one instant we are trying to realize this particular instant when the vector is something like this. So then what we are doing, this is our Vs vector, and V1, V2, V0, V7 are located like this. So we can write what these states are. So this is what we are trying to do for this particular voltage vector. Effectively, we have applied V0 first, then V1, then V2, and then V7. So in sequence, we have applied and we have realized V7 through the sine triangle PWM. Now, this is not necessary to always have realization with a triangular carrier and then the modulating signals and all. It is not necessary. If we know the value of voltage vector and its position, we can actually apply these vectors according to the computed times. So what we can do, let us say, so let's say our sector is there, and we have the fundamental component, let's say, rotating somewhere like on this circle, and let's say we have taken up this instant, so where the voltage vector is, let's say, Vs amplitude and some angle. So let's say I define it by alpha. So don't confuse with the alpha beta axis and alpha angle. So when I say alpha beta axis, this means this axis. And when I say angle alpha, which means the sector angle, which means starting from this boundary or the starting of this sector to the vector angle. So this is alpha. So then this is denoted by Vs alpha. And we have V1 vector, which is plus minus minus. We have V2 vector, which is plus plus minus, and we have V0 and V7. So minus 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 and plus plus plus. So these vectors are there. Now what we are trying to do, instead of having carrier and then modulating signals, if we directly know this value, the Vs voltage vector and its alpha angle, why not realize it directly through this V1, V2, V0 and V7? Because nowadays we have microcontrollers, so they can do the mathematical computation. So which means the time period can be easily calculated, and then we can give command, okay, now apply V0 or V1 or V2 or V7 for these many intervals. So basically giving this minus 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 for certain time, then plus 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 minus minus, then plus plus minus, and then plus plus plus. So this we can do through our microcontrollers very easily. Now we need to compute for what time these vectors will be applied. So what we say that the designated times for these vectors. So let's say V1 we apply for some time T1, capital T1, and V2 we apply for another capital time T2, and then capital T, T2. So then V0 and V0, so the remaining time, let's say this total time period is Ts. So the remaining time, which is the time designated for the zero vectors. So this will be Ts minus T1 plus T2. This time is called Tz, which is basically the time period over which these zero vectors are applied. Now, why this Tz is necessary? you may realize the voltage vector with V1 and V2 alone. Then why this Tz is required? To maintain the constant Ts. So whatever is remaining time that we need to somehow spend in that cycle so that we maintain a constant Ts. So T1 plus T2, this will always be less than Ts. And the remaining time we just somehow spend, we just stay at that point applying zero vector so that our Ts is maintained constant. Now, what about these vectors V0 and V7? How do we allocate Tz for these two? So what we say that apply both for half of the designated zero vector time. So now these are the time periods over which these vectors are applied. Now we can compute what these values of T1, T2 and Tz would be given a constant Ts and given the voltage vector value and its angle. So these things, alpha is the sector angle. We are not taking from this. This is our theta equal to 0 line. We are not taking from this. We are taking from this axis where the first vector is there, V1 vector. So that is called sector angle. So sector angle alpha will always be between 0 and 60 degree. So every sector is having that 0 to 60, then 0 to 60, and so on. So we are taking this angle alpha. Now let's compute these time periods. So we can represent, let's say again our volt second balance must come. So what is there? Now the average vector Vs angle alpha is to be realized over time Ts, and this is realized through these vectors or by sequentially applying these vectors. Okay, so this is what we are trying to do. Now we need to figure out what are the imaginary and real components. So here we have three unknowns, T1, T2 and Tz. And there is one relation in between all three, is that this is constant. T1 plus T2 plus Tz is equal to Ts. This is first equation. And when you take real and imaginary components, other two equations will also be found. So then we can solve three unknowns. Now here Vs, so any vector, when we are having a representation like this, you can write it like the amplitude into e raised to power j alpha. So angle is always in counterclockwise direction. So this is how we represent the vector Vs and any vector. So V1, V2, everything can be written like that. So writing that Vs is the amplitude now, and then we have e raised to power j alpha. Ts, V0 is 0, so we have remaining V1. V1 is nothing but VDC, the magnitude, and angle 0. So e raised to the power 0 times T1 plus we have again V2, which has magnitude VDC and angle 60 degree. So this pi by 3 T2, again V7 is 0. So in this we have T1 and T2 clearly distinguished. Now the e raised to power j alpha, if you separate out, this will be Vs cos alpha plus j Vs sin alpha times of Ts, and this will be VDC times of T1 plus VDC times of 1 by 2 plus j root 3 by 2 times of T2. Or if you write in terms of angle, so that is sometimes easier to remember. So then we can write like this, VDC cos 60 degree plus j sin 60 degree times of T2. This is our Vs cos alpha plus j Vs sin alpha Ts. Now if you figure out and equate the real and imaginary terms, so what we will have, Vs sin alpha Ts is equal to the only imaginary term on this side, which is Vdc sin 60 T2. So T2 can be very easily written as Vs by Vdc sin alpha by sin 60 degree times of Ts. Now please note that this Vs is not your modulating signal. This Vs is your actual voltage vector, which means your line to line voltage 400 volts corresponding to that whatever voltage vector, I mean any actual voltage given, machine voltage or the inverter voltage. So this is the actual voltage in volts. That's why the division by VDC is there. So this is how we compute T2. Now similarly, if we equate the real parts, we will have Vs cos alpha Ts equal to Vdc times of T1 plus Vdc cos 60 times of T2. So then T2 you can plug in from this expression, and then we will have again, so VDC will cancel out. We'll have Vs sin alpha cos 60 and then divided by okay. So then if you shift the terms on one side, so then this can be written like, no, I will probably go to one of the final steps, so then need not spend too much time. This is simpler, you can get on your own. So if I write the almost the final term, so this will look like this. So then T1 you can remember very easily by this. So of course both T1 and T2 have, no, if you trying to remember, then you can make up some similarity. So Vs by Vdc is common, Ts is common in both the expressions, and then denominator sin 60 degree is also common in both. Only different thing is the T1 is sin 60 minus alpha and T2 is sin alpha. That is the only difference. And then when we know T1, so we can have Tz equal to Ts minus T1 plus T2. This time we can compute. Now what we can do, we apply these vectors for these time periods. So this we also call as dwell time for the vectors. So for this much time, this voltage is applied. Now, in the same sector, if we see, so what we are doing basically, we have V0 voltage vector, V1, V2, V7. This getting applied over this time period Ts, and then the V0 is like for Tz by 2. This is for T1, this is for T2 again, V7 for Tz by 2. So these two intervals are equal. So maybe we should draw something like a more realistic thing we can draw. So something like this. So more or less these two are equally divided. So 0 vector time is equally divided. Now, if you see from the hexagon point of view, what is happening to this? So let me bring back that thing. So maybe first I'll put the sector also over here. And maybe bringing back the hexagon. That is our complete cycle. So okay, maybe both. Fine. So here we have our hexagon and the fundamental what we are having. So let us see from the sector point of view what is happening. So we have applied these vectors v0, v1, v2, v7 for this time period t1, sorry, tz by 2, then t1, then t2, and then again tz by 2. So this is our v1, v2, v0, v7, or simply we can say 1, 2, 0, 7. So any vector, let's say it was on this circle. So here we have realized by applying 0, 1, 2, 7. This is the sequence of vectors applied for this particular sample over the designated time tz by 2, t1, t2 and tz by 2. Now this is what we do. So in this sector, what we do basically, we sample this at regular intervals. Let's say this is rotating. So we sample that at regular intervals. And similarly, we sample for the complete circle also. So let's say some sampling frequency, so which means the time period Ts is decided by that, we sample. And then each and every point, whichever this vector is there, the position, its magnitude, that we realize one by one based on our computations. So because each sector is 60° and we try to make it symmetric, so whatever T1, T2 and TZ computations we have done for this one sector, that is true for all the sectors. So the same formula is applicable. That's why alpha has nothing to do with the theta. It's only between 0 and 60. So every 0 to 60, this is true. You need to take care of which is vector v1, v2 and v7 and v0. That we will discuss. So now this technique is actually called the conventional space vector PWM. So conventional space vector PWM or CSV PWM, what we are basically doing, we are applying the vectors in this sequence 0, 1 to 7, or we can have this also 7 to 1, 0. So what we should have, that any next vector should be only one switching away. That is what we have to ensure. And the vectors which correspond to 0 vector are applied for equal intervals. This is what we have to ensure. So what we do, we have applied minus, 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 then plus, minus, minus, then plus, plus, minus, and then plus, plus, plus. So at an instant, only one switching is happening. Similarly, here also either plus, plus, plus or plus plus minus or plus minus minus or minus minus minus. So at an instant only one switching is there. So like this. And these zero vectors are applied for equal durations Tz by 2. This is what is called conventional space vector PWM. Now, when we are having this, then how to choose the sampling? This is the first thing what we have to understand. So let's say one example, let us take. Let's say I give you a condition that we are sampling theta, sampling is equal to 20 degree. So at every 20 degree we are sampling our voltage vector Vs, which means for, let's say, the first sector, if we have to analyze, let us take the first vector. Now, in this, what we will do basically, so removing all the unnecessary things from here, and then what we have, let's call it 0, 1 to 7 only. So for the sector 1, we have 1 minus minus minus, 2 plus minus minus, sorry, this is plus minus minus, plus plus minus, 0 is minus minus minus, and 7 is plus plus plus. These are the switching states. Now let's say the fundamental lies on this circle. So one part of that circle is drawn which corresponds to this particular sector. So alpha varying between 0 and 60 degree. So what I do, I mark the middle of the sector and I take one sample at this middle of the sector. Let's say at alpha equal to 30 degree. Now we have, because we are doing sampling at every 20 degree, so in one sector we will have 3 samples. So if one sample is taken at the middle of the sector, then 2 more samples can come symmetrically around this, which means at 50 degree and at 10 degree. So another sample can come over here and another sample can come over here. So this is alpha equal to 30, alpha equal to 10, and alpha equal to 50 degree. While like this, we will again discuss little more further on this. So then this vector I can represent by Vs angle 30 degree. This vector could be Vs angle 10 degree, and this vector could be Vs angle 50 degree. So now we can compute T1, T2 and Tz for each sample. So for this, the alpha will be 10 degree. So we can compute what is T2. So that will be Vs by Vdc sine 10 degree by sine 60 degree times of Ts. Then similarly T1 Vs by Vdc sine 60 minus 10 by sine 60 times of Ts. Like that we can compute for each sample. Now how to apply the vectors? Let us say, can we have 0, 1, 2, 7 applied for all 3? So if we, let us say we do that, so we have applied this sequence for Vs angle 10 degree. Now again we apply 0, 1, 2, 7 for the next instant Vs angle 30 degree. And then again we apply 0, 1, 2, 7 for next instant Vs angle 50 degree. So that is how these samples we have realized. Now what is the problem with this? That whenever this one sample is getting complete, this switching is applied and the vectors is realized, then the next instant we are having 3 switchings. So we have started with minus minus minus, then plus minus minus, then plus plus minus, and we are ending with plus plus plus. And again we are starting with minus, minus, minus. And same with this also. So the problem happens that immediately we need to have 3 switchings. So again from here to here, when we go, we have 3 switchings at the same instant. So which is similar to what we have seen in case of ramp type of carrier. So if we have only this falling edge of carrier, then what we will have, always our this switching states will be reset. So whatever is there, it will be reset to some value. Let's say it is plus plus plus, then it will become minus 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 suddenly here, or if it is minus minus minus, it will suddenly become plus plus plus. So similar to ramp, this situation we will have. So this cannot be there, this is not allowed. So what we do, we keep something like, let's say we are applying 0, 1, 2, 7 for the first sample Vs 10 degree. Then what we do, we continue with 7 and we apply this 7 to 1, 0, because computations are same. It doesn't matter in what sequence you apply. So in conventional space vector, we maintain this sequence: 0 vector, then active vector, then another active vector, and then 0 vector. So that is the sequence which we follow. And then again for the third sample, you apply this 0, 1 to 7. Now if we do this, so then what we will be doing, we will be applying minus 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 plus minus minus plus plus minus plus plus plus, and we will be starting with plus 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 and finally ending with minus minus minus. Again here we will have the continuation. That continuity in the switching state will be maintained. So no switching at the sample boundary. Once sample is realized, you continue with the same switching state for the next sample and then for the next sample. So this is how we follow the realization, or this is how we realize the voltage vector when we have multiple samples in a sector, or even if there is only one sample. Now what happens to the remaining sectors? Let's say this is for the first sector itself. So then let us see what is happening to other sectors. So let me again take back these. So almost symmetrically placing this circle in the hexagon, and then we have so now we have the complete fundamental cycle. So what we have done, again keeping the same thing, theta sampling equal to 20 degree. Now what we have said that okay, we will keep one sample at the middle of the sector. So that is true for every sector. We have 3 samples in the sector, in one sector. So every sector middle we have one sample. Let's say I mark these samples by this blue dot. And the remaining 2 samples of each sector is placed symmetrically. So let's say at 10 degree and 50 degree of each sector. So we will have samples located something like this. Now we can see that each vector is symmetrically placed. like that we are realizing. So that is why when you keep one sample at the middle of the sector, at every middle of this sector, we will have this symmetry in terms of the sampling. So each with this sample would be 20 degree away from the other sample, and that will be like symmetrically placed in the complete circle. Now what will happen to other switching states? So let us say in this sector, the sector 1, we have applied 0, 1 to 7, then we have applied 7 to 1, 0, and then we have applied 0, 1 to 7. So what we do, we start the same way, like ending with 7 finally. So we start with 7 here and we write 7, then the nearest vector, active vector is 2, then the next active vector is 3. So I will maybe mark these vectors for clarity. Plus minus minus, we have 2 plus plus minus, we have 3 minus plus minus, then we have 4 minus plus plus, then we have 5 minus minus plus, and then we have 6 plus minus plus, and then 0 vectors are at the center. So then what we have applied in sector 1, we have applied 0, 1 to 7, then 7 to 1, 0, and then 0, 1 to 7 for the 3 samples, sample 1, sample 2, sample 3. Now again when we start this next sector, the second sector, we start with this 7. This was the ending 0 vector, and what we can do, we can apply 7, 2, then 3, and then 0. These are the active vectors associated with this sector. So what we do, we apply 7, 2, 3, 0, and then what we apply, the next continuation for the next sample would be 0, 3, 2, 7, and then again 7, 2, 3, 0. So these will be vectors applied for the second sector, 1, 2, 3, these 3 samples. Now again, when we go to this third sector, we start with the last 0 vector where we have ended and the corresponding active vector. So we start 0, 3, 4, and then 7, and then we will have 7, 4, 3, 0, and then we will have 0, 3, 4, and 7, and so on. It will continue. So here what we will have in sector 6, so we are starting sector 1 from 0, which means the 6 must have ended with 0, and so the first vector must be 7. So this must be 7, 6, 1, 0, the third sample. Then the second sample would be 0, 1, 6, 7, and the first sample would be something like 7, 6, 1, 0. So this continuity will be maintained. Wherever we are ending with whatever 0 vector, we start with that, and again we start with that, irrespective of where we are going. So sorry, this comes here. Understanding my point? Some quick feedback here. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So similarly, you can write the switching states also, like for sector 1. So for 3 samples, how we are realizing? We are having 0, 1, 2, 7, which is minus, 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 plus, minus, minus, plus, plus, minus, plus, plus, plus. This is sample 1. Then we have 7, 2, 1, 0, plus, 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 minus, plus, minus, 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 minus. This is 2. Then 0, 1, 2, 7. So here it would be minus, minus, minus. Then plus, minus, minus, plus, plus, minus, plus, plus, plus. Sample 3. This is for sector 1. And the moment you go for sector 2, where we will start from, we will start with the last 0 vector where we have ended. So it will start like 7. Then the next vector will be 2, 3, and 0. These are the active vectors associated with the sector 2. So here we will start with plus plus plus, plus plus minus, minus plus minus, minus minus minus, sample 1, and so on. Clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So for each sample realization, we are computing our T1, T2 and TZ again. So this is computed for this sample. Then again we compute our T1, T2, TZ for this sample. Then again T1, T2, TZ for this sample. And we keep applying these vectors. So our T1, T2, TZ are changing with every sample, because although this Vs magnitude is same, the angle is changing. Now, one advantage is there. If we are doing realization on sector basis, we know that alpha has only 3 values, 10, 30 and 50. We know this. And we know that the magnitude of this Vs vector is also fixed, which means our T1, T2 and TZ can have only 3 values, one corresponding to 10 degree, another corresponding to 30 degree, another corresponding to 50 degree. So with these 3 numbers, T1, T2, TZ computed in our microcontroller, we can apply these vectors in this manner, whatever we are discussing over here. And then we can realize this voltage vector, Vs. So we'll be going in the counterclockwise direction. We'll be realizing this vector. So just these 3 numbers we need to know. What is the value of T1, T2 and TZ for these angles. In every sector we have sample at this angle only, 10 degree, 30 degree and 50 degree. This is for theta sampling equal to 20 degree. So then our job becomes very simple. We need not have the complete carrier. We need not have the 3 modulating signals and all that. So again, now can we further simplify our task? Can we further simplify what we are doing? Let's say we have seen that for every sector this T1, T2, TZ are same. These are not changing. 10 degree, 30 degree, 50 degree, every sector this is true. Now can we generalize the sector? Which means some way to give, like let's say something is called first active vector, and then something will be called second active vector, and then there will be 2 zero vectors, let's say 0, 1 and then 0, 2. So can we generalize these sectors like that? So yes, we can do that. So quickly let me grab this sector drawing. So we are trying to simplify our job. When we have microcontroller, we can compute these things easily. These are these are just numbers and very easy to compute and very easy to apply. Now let me see over here. Let's say any vector, any sector. I'm not saying which sector. So any sector, what we have a starting vector. Let us say the first vector is called A. So I am having this vector A over here, which is where my sector is starting. This could be any sector in this hexagon. So we are going in the counterclockwise direction. So always we have first vector, then the second vector, then again the first vector, then the second vector, then first vector, then the second vector. Like that, this is true for every sector for this one particular direction. So let's say I call the first vector as A and the second vector as B. Which means starting of the sector we have vector A and ending of the sector we have vector B. And then the 0 vectors I call as ZA and ZB. So ZA means which is one switching away from A. So for example, for sector 1, I have A vector as plus minus minus, then my ZA would be minus minus minus, only one switching away from vector A, active vector A. So that zero vector is called ZA. And similarly, ZB is something which is one switching away from B. So if I have sector 1, my B vector is plus plus minus, and then my ZB will be plus plus plus. Understanding my point? Quick feedback.
Yes, sir.
So then I mark my samples because every sector is 60 degree symmetric. So we have every 10 degree, 30 degree, 50 degree, these samples are there. So now what I say, I generalize instead of going for 0, 1 to 7, 7 to 1, 0 and so on. I say that for this voltage vector at 10 degree. Now which sector? It could be any sector, but the angle within the sector is 10 degree or 30 degree or 50 degree. It could be any sector. So for first sample, which means for Vs at 10 degree, I apply my vector sequence as this. And then for second vector or second sample, which is Vs 30 degree, I apply my vectors like this. And for the third, I apply like this. Getting my point? Getting my point? Any quick feedback?
Yes, sir.
So now what we need to do, we know what we are applying at this particular when the voltage vector is at 10 degree in the sector. Voltage vector is at 30 degree in the sector. Voltage vector is at 50 degree in the sector. This is what we are applying. Now, how do you decide what is ZA, what is A, what is B, what is ZB? So we have seen that A and B are starting and ending of the sector, and ZA is associated with A, that means one switching away from A, and ZB is one switching away from B. So what I can write, let's say for sector 1, I can write my ZA, sorry, A, B, ZA and ZB. So let me first write A, that will be plus minus minus. And then my B will be plus plus minus. Then ZA will be minus 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 and ZB will be plus plus plus. This is for sector 1, which means 0, 1, 2, 7. These are the vectors designated to ZA, A, B and ZB. Now for sector 2, these allocations will change. So this we can do easily in our microcontroller. We can fix that my ZA is this for this sector, which means theta between 90 degree to 150 degree. Now for sector 2, when my theta is between 150 degree to 210 degree, then my ZA, A, B and ZB will change. Now my A will become plus plus minus, my B will become minus plus minus, my ZB will become minus 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 and ZA will become plus plus plus, which means 7, 2, 3 and 0. Now whatever we do, we always follow this sequence of applying the vectors. This is the sequence. We always apply ZA, AB, ZB, ZB, BA, ZA, ZA, AB and ZB. For any sector, these are the sequences applied for the particular sampling, let's say 3 samples in the sector. which are symmetrically placed. Hence, theta sampling is equal to 20 degree for the sector. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So this way we have simplified our job to a large extent. Now it's only if else loop or any just condition we need to write in our microcontroller. So the programming becomes very simple. You need not have any carrier or sign or anything. We just need to know where the vector is, and then we. So now the question comes about the sampling. Okay, so what I can do, I can stop here. Maybe sampling I will take next day. So that becomes another starting point. So is that all right? Shall I stop here? Say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You have to give feedback. What becomes too much for you, then I can stop there. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So then sampling we can start tomorrow. And some more things related to the conventional space vector PWM. And then we will go more into the details of how good this is and what more we can do with this space vector and other things. Is that all right?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
That
sir.
will be all right.
Okay. Any doubts up to this? Any questions? Any quick questions if you have? Okay, so then let's stop if you do not have any questions. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.